Good afternoon. Welcome to Real Estate Raw. This is Bill Ham. Thanks for joining. Today's topic is going to be on the 3 systems we must have for multifamily success in 2024. Please feel free to tell us where you are. If anybody has any questions, if anyone would like to, post anything in here, feel free. Any questions, certainly let me know. And you can always get all my full information, just as a reminder, at realestateraw.com. All right, so today we are going to be talking about the 3 systems that you have to have for multifamily success. The 3 systems that I'm going to cover today are deal flow, deal analysis, networking, right? Those are your 3 major systems you're going to have in place over a long period of time in order to be successful, right? So that's what I want to talk about. All of my program and all of my education always follows this 3 system approach. If any of my students are here, if any of you have already been working with me, you've probably heard some of this. If you're new, if you have not been working with me, then this is the sort of backbone of what I teach in my entire program right here. So going forward, deal flow, deal analysis, networking. Those are the 3 major systems. Okay, let's start off with the first one. Deal flow, right? You got to have deals coming in the door. Got to have a regular pace of deals. All right. What is a deal, right? Okay. What we got to figure out first step is, what are you trying to buy? What's the right size property for you, right? You can't really go out and start looking at stuff if we have no idea what the right size is. So step number 1 for deal flow is to figure out what is it that you're looking for. Okay. Quick answer. I would start with debt. What can you borrow? All right. If we are talking smaller assets, and I'm going to say smaller, under $1 million, under maybe 10 units, something like that. Net worth is not as big of a deal, but once you start getting into what we call debt service coverage ratio loans, DSCR loans, that's usually when you're borrowing, say, $1 million or more, 10, 20 units, something like that. Now they're really looking more at your net worth. And so that's one of the big things I teach everybody when you're going out looking at deals. Remember, you are probably going to have the net worth, personal net worth, equal to the loan amount. If no one's ever told you that, you need to understand that when you're going out here and you're looking at these big deals. Yes, it's a debt service ratio loan, and yes, they're going to look at the property to cover the mortgage, but they're looking at you and borrower. So we have you plus any other individual that's going to co-sign that mortgage. That's the aggregate net worth equal to or greater than loan amount. All right. So that's sort of step number 1 in getting deal flow. What are we trying to buy? 80% of the time, you want to be looking at deals that have the highest probability of closing. 20% of the time, let's go out and look at those big giant deals that might be outside of our league. Okay, so what is this 80%? It's your net worth, or let's say your borrowing group's net worth, translated into number of units in the market, right? Let's use Atlanta as an example. If I have $1 million in net worth and I say I'm going to go buy real estate in Atlanta, Georgia, I would then say, how many units can I purchase for $1 million in Atlanta, Georgia? That is going to be a different amount of real estate than, let's say, Macon, Georgia, or LA, or Miami, or New York, or Texas, right? They're going to be all over the board. So walking around saying, I want 5 units, 10 units, 20 units is not great metrics. What you want to do is to say, I'm trying to buy X amount of real estate that matches your borrowing capability. That's a way to get started. Okay, so now we have an understanding of what you're trying to buy. Let's say it's 10 units just for conversation's sake. 3 deals a week. That's your pace for deal flow. The first of our systems, you got to have 3 deals a week coming in the door. That's consistency. That's running your numbers. Finding a good deal is a numbers game, right? Most deals suck. We know that. You got to go through a lot of deals to find some good ones. That's business. That's everything. So what are the numbers? 3 a week. So whatever you're trying to buy, we've now figured that out through the net worth translation. 3 of these a week. Start off on that deal flow by selecting a market. Market selection is actually part of the deal flow system. So now you're going to pick a place to start buying. I recommend starting close to home, but wherever you're going to be purchasing, we're going to take your market. So again, we'll use Atlanta, Georgia as our example. What I would recommend, and what I teach my students to do, is to now draw a circle around your market, Atlanta, on the map, right? We're going to draw a circle around Atlanta. Inside that circle, I'm going to find my 3 deals a week. 3 what? Well, 10 units, 20 units, 100 units, whatever you're trying to buy. And so for this conversation, I'm looking for 10 unit deals. I'm going to find 3 a week inside that circle. The first week or 2, I might be able to keep the circle kind of small. As time goes on, that circle is going to get a bit bigger for me to consistently find deals inside of that area. And once you ultimately settle on the territory, it's going to turn into a collection of cities, not just one, but a collection of cities inside of your area that you're finding these 3 deals a week. That's now your market. So please don't think of market in the sense of an actual town. Think of market in the sense of a collection of cities that equals 3 deals a week. Okay, so that's our first system deal flow. Now we've got our area, we know what we're trying to buy, we know we're looking for 3 of them a week, we've got our territory. Let's start finding some deals in that particular area. Okay, realtors or directly to owner. It's your only option, right? There are only 2 ways to find deals. You're working with the realtors or you're talking to an owner directly. Talking directly to owners works real well. I have found up to about 20, 30 units. And then once you're trying to reach out to owners, whether it be some sort of direct contact mail, whatever, it seems to drop off about 20, 30 units. Anything above that, you really don't get a whole lot of response rate. You're now moving into the commercial realtor space when you're above 30, 40 units in there. 20, 30 units and below, you might find some of those with a single family realtor on the MLS, things of that nature. Once you're hitting 30, 40 and above, you're pretty much working with commercial realtors. So that's our first step. We got to go out and meet the realtors. In the commercial space, I recommend that you spend a few minutes, figure out who are all of the realty companies, not people, companies in your state, not even market, but just in the state that specialize in multifamily. You're going to have maybe 10 or 15, not that many, right? So you go out, you figure out who are all these multifamily commercial realty firms. For example, Marcus and Millichap, Berkadia, CBRE, Cushman Wakefield. Those are some of your larger multifamily companies, right? Go to their websites. Now go to each and every single realtor's home website and create an account. I've mentioned this before. You guys probably heard me talk about this, especially if you're one of my students. Go in there, create that account. It just means go get on their email list, fill out the little information in the upper corner. Now that'll give you the ability to start looking at deals on their website. And that's how you're going to find deals at the very beginning. And that's your first system for deal flow. Hit these realtors' home websites, log in, create an account, go back to their home website and see what is currently listed, what is on the market right now. That's where you can start finding deals today. If you have the account, and this is why I'm telling you to set up that account, it will allow you to sign confidentiality agreements on that realtor's home website. So I'll use Marcus and Millichap as an example. I'm saying Marcus and Millichap if my southern accent isn't translating. So what you go to their website, fill out the little questionnaire. You've got an account now. Go to current listings. Start clicking on properties around the U.S. in your area. When they pull up, it will give you the opportunity to sign a confidentiality agreement. You can read that. You can execute that right there on the website. And then that lets you download the information that you need to analyze the deal. You're going to then pull down 3 things: rent roll, trailing 12, offering memorandum. Those are the 3 things you're after. So that is a system for deal flow, right? We pick our territory. We figure out what it is we're trying to buy. We know we need to get 3 deals a week. We figure out the size territory that it takes to find those 3 deals a week. Best way to do that, realtor websites. The fastest way to do that is realtor websites. Create an account, log in, start downloading deals, sign CAs, analyze said deal. Rinse and repeat, right? That's your system for deal flow. All right, deal analysis, okay? That is not something that we can completely cover today because that is a very long conversation, but suffice to say, there are 3 approaches to deal analysis. You have the income approach, comparable sale approach, replacement cost approach. Those are your 3 basic ways of analyzing a deal. Replacement cost, not something we really do as citizens or investors. That's kind of taking the property, figuring out what it would cost to replace it brand new, and then depreciating it back to its original construction date. That is something that is typically done by a commercial appraiser, not so much as an investor. As investors, we're looking more at comparable sale, right? That's kind of like a house, what's everybody paying in the area? And then we have the income approach. Now, a commercial appraiser will do all 3, take all 3 values, blend them together, and get one average number, and that is how they're going to create that commercial appraisal. But for us, we're really on the income approach. I'd say probably 80%, and then maybe another 20% on that comparable sale. Income approach, that's really asking ourselves, hey, if I buy this property and I pay that price, Is it going to cash flow? Is it going to make any money? That's where we get into the debt service coverage ratio. I have a tremendous amount of material on that subject on the home website, realestateraw.com, so you can go get some videos and articles on how to analyze deals. We will do other sessions where we talk about just strictly deal analysis, but today that's what I have for you. You're going to have to learn how to analyze those deals. What's a good deal? Well, it's a deal that makes more money than it costs to own, right? So I would say you want to sit down and look at your capital stack. We've done a video on that, and you got to figure out what is the total cost of this deal to you. What is the cost of your money? Well, we know that a portion of it comes from the lender, the bank. What's the cost of that money? Interest rate. That's easy. What's the cost of the equity? Well, that depends. Is it your money? Is it an investor's money? Like, where's the down payment coming from? And what kind of return does it want, right? If it's your money, then you would just be asking yourself, what kind of return on investment do I want for my own capital? And if you're syndicating or bringing on limited partner money, you have to ask, what kind of return would they invest for? A good deal is one that's going to produce that plus enough to be worth the brain damage of dealing with the damn thing in the first place, right? So yeah, there's cash flow, but is it enough cash flow to be worth the effort? And that's what we call ROE, return on effort, right? Not just ROI. Okay, that's deal analysis. And there's lots of things that fall into that. The three pillars of real estate, I cover that as well. Market cycle, debt, exit strategies. Get those three things together. That's all part of your market analysis. You should be doing pretty good. Okay, lastly, networking. Let's talk about networking. Networking, I sort of translate as the ability to fund deals on a regular basis. And I take that from the old adage, your network is your net worth. Right. So we've got three systems. You've got deals coming in the door on a regular basis. Okay. Great. We've got frequency. Now we know what we're doing. We're analyzing these deals. We have competency. Okay. Frequency times competency equals revenue. Right. But the revenue part means now we have to fund these deals. And so if you have the first two systems of bringing viable deals in the door, understanding what you're looking at, you have the skill set to bring valuable items and assets to these larger investors, the money, and that's the networking, right? So you constantly have to be in the background, making new relationships, networking, building these things out so that when that hot deal hits, you have the database to reach out to. Please don't think that you're going to go out and find a good deal and then go meet a bunch of millionaires and have them know, like, and trust you and put money in the deal. It won't work. Take it from me, I lost $150,000 like that one time. A long story, but I went into a money raise for a syndicated deal. I got arrogant on my network, and I thought I was, better known than I was, and it turned out I wasn't. And I started calling people up saying, "Hey, do you want to invest in the deal?" And the average response was, "Who are you again?" So take it from me, that was not a good afternoon. So you got to keep that database warm. You got to keep these people around. You got to be communicating with them all the time, waiting for that hot deal to hit. So people always ask me, should I go out and raise the money first and then find a deal, or should I go find deals and then worry about the money? Both all the time. You have to be doing both always, because you never know when one's going to hit. And when one doesn't hit, I assure you, you will not have the time to go build the other piece of your ship there. So it's not going to work. So those are your three systems. Deal flow, right? That's picking our market. That's bringing deals in on a regular basis, 3 a week. Deal analysis, what are you looking at? What's a good deal? What's the right price? Factoring in debt, today's interest rates, down payments. And then lastly, networking. Can we fund this on a regular basis? Have you been out doing your work, meeting people, building that know, like, and trust relationship, right? That's the key. So that's what I have for you today. That's our program. I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to take a look over here at your questions, see what we got in the chat over here. I'll answer all those for you. But three systems: deal flow, deal analysis, networking. All right. So what do we got going over here? Appreciate everybody stopping by. Rodney, I'd love to find something in Atlanta surrounding area, but things are so expensive. Yeah, I agree, man. Absolutely. Something else I'll tell you about Atlanta, guys. Got to be a little bit careful here. In Atlanta, it's certainly being overbuilt at the moment. There's a very a low or negative absorption rate in Atlanta specifically. Now, I love Atlanta. I'm from Atlanta. I think the market will recover. But at the moment, it's being highly overbuilt. Tremendous amount of building and not the absorption there. So you certainly want to watch that. That's going to mean rent softening in the Atlanta market for a little while. Totally agree about kind of looking around. I love the North Carolina, South Carolina area. I would be looking at that. Maybe South Georgia, Middle Georgia, South Georgia, not so much. Yeah, Mark's a mill chap. Thanks, Monica, throwing that in there. Thank you. Okay, so Warner Robins prices are starting to look like Atlanta. Yeah, I think Warner Robins making Atlanta is all just going to become one giant city one day. We've always joked about that. Atlanta just kind of being one massive city that goes all the way down to middle of the state. Yeah, um, values go up and they tend to market cycles like in Warner Robins and stuff like this, right? We see the values go up. They level off, then they come down some, level off, and then they'll go back up in the future. So yeah, we're seeing pricing in the Warner Robins Middle Georgia area being very compressed as far as cap rate's concerned, but I bet it doesn't sustain. I bet you'll see some softening in that. Now, it's never going to go back to where it was. Be very very careful about that. You can never sit here and say, "Oh, I remember back when that sold for 50,000 a door. I'm just going to wait for it to go back to 50,000 a door." You're going to be waiting forever. It will never go back to where it was. It may not sustain where it is, but it's certainly not going to go back to where it was. So don't make that mistake. I've missed on a lot of deals doing that where I really kind of kept remembering back when, and I never would want to pay today's prices because I was always offended. The property was so much cheaper a few years ago. And then what happened? It went up some more and I didn't buy it. And then what happened? It went up some more, and now I'm pissed because I never bought it, right? So don't get stuck in that looking back sort of scenario. Okay. All right, Rodney, you've been trying to follow your guidance. Use LoopNet and Crexy. Yep, those are good places to kind of get started. Major firms actually have sites allow you to register with them. Correct. Okay, absolutely, Rodney. Right. So LoopNet and Crexy. If anybody is not familiar, those are two websites, LoopNet and Crexy.com. They are sort of flea markets for real estate, right? So they're not super great for actually finding deals. Number one. Number two, LoopNet and Crexy, the realtors tend not to put any real information on that site, and they tend not to put their best deals on that site either because a million people a day log into those websites. What you got to do, Rodney, is spend a little time on LoopNet and Crexy looking to see who are the realty companies, then get off LoopNet and Crexy altogether and go over to their main website, right? Most of these larger realty companies will put one deal over there on LoopNet or Crexy just as like a business card, but they have a lot more deals on their home website. And so, Ronnie, that's sometimes you go back and figure out for a little while in your area who are all those realty companies. You're probably not really going to come up with more than maybe 10, 12. I listed off a few that are just some of the majors. Stick around on their websites. That's where you sign the CAs. That's where you download the information. It's not on LoopNet and Crexy. And another pro tip, don't ever click that contact realtor button on LoopNet or Crexy. You are not contacting the realtor. You are contacting LoopNet, and LoopNet is sending a junk email over to that realtor that says, "Hey, somebody on LoopNet wants to talk to you." You're not communicating with the realtor. So the response rate through that is very, very, very low. So if you see a deal on LoopNet or Crexy and you like it or it's something you're interested in, get off that website, go back over to the home website of the realty company and find it. You will probably find the deal over there on their website as well. Now contact the realtor, right? The realtor's actual contact information will be on their home website, and they never put it on LoopNet and Crexy. See, LoopNet and Crexy doesn't want you talking to the realtor. They want you talking through them to the realtor. That's a problem. All right, Rodney. So you don't have the liquidity or net worth to take down a deal on your own. Hey, I've been there, done that, understand exactly where you're coming from. So your plan is just build in direct to owner acquisition machine, build, flip one. Absolutely, that works. Rodney, what I would also suggest, you've got several different models there. One, you can start off on the smaller side, get started where you can. 100% agree. Don't just try and go big or go home. I think it's a horrible idea. Start where you can, start where you can get some traction. If you can get out there and do some smaller assets on your own, that's great. But also keep in mind that you can syndicate if you learn the skill set of deal flow, deal analysis, right? If you learn what a good deal is and you learn how to find them, then you can bring these deals to high net worth individuals and get them to join you. That's syndication. Now, if you cannot bring them a good deal, why would these millionaires come join you? They will not, right? So that's the key. And that's what I provide my students is the skill set to be able to go out and without spending any real money, find good deals, right? What are they? Work with realtors, deal analysis, deal flow, all that stuff, so that the networking is how you come in and pay for it. So absolutely agree with you on coming in and doing some smaller properties to get your traction going, to get your credibility. But don't think that you can't do a larger deal because you can't currently do a larger deal. That's a mindset issue. You can do whatever you have the network to do. If you don't have the network, then get out and meet people. Network. I always tell everybody there's the old adage, know, like, and trust, right? And I like to ask people, and you can even post your comment over here, which is best, know, like, or trust? Which is of those three, which is the most important? To be known, to be liked, to be trusted. Most people will jump in and they'll say, oh, trust is super important. Being known, yeah, man, that's super important. Bullshit. None of that makes any damn difference. If these people don't know you, they don't like or trust you, are they? Right? Being known is the only thing that matters. You cannot make people like you and trust you. If you do, you are a con artist. So this know, like, and trust is a nonsense concept. You only need to be known, and that's on you. That's networking. That you can absolutely control, right? Now, whether the people respond to you, they like you, they give you money, they invest with you, forget about all that crap. You can't control that, right? Just show up. Just do like I'm doing right here. I show up every week. I give you guys the information. I don't care what I get for it. That's networking. Just do it. Just show up, and everything else will take care of itself. But that's my tips for you. So know, like, and trust, man. You're just gonna have to get out and grind. It's tough. It's the business. Don't worry about your responses. Don't worry about getting paid. Don't worry about any kind of result. Just do it, right? Just get out and grind. It's all about the grind. All right. Appreciate everybody stopping by. Thank you. Yeah, Ronnie Connors, right? Great. Hope this helps. Hope you guys got some tips. I'm going to be in here every Wednesday at 2 o'clock. So join me every single week. Set your timer. If there's anybody you'd like to invite to our groups, certainly send them an invite. Share the group. Share this information. This is just something that Monica and I like to get out here and do. And I don't think I introduced Monica today, by the way. Monica Wyndham, who's my right hand in this business and in a lot of things. She's been with me for many years in the property management space and now in real estate raw. So I really appreciate her help and coming in here and moderating the room and all these good things. So we're going to also be having a live boot camp coming up May 4th and 5th, as in May the 4th be with you. May 4th and 5th in Tampa. So be looking out. If you're not on my email list, go to the website, log in so you make sure you get info on that. We're going to be doing a 2-day live boot camp down here. I'm not hosting it, so I'll get you more information on that as time goes on. It's going to be on creative financing and underwriting. Creative financing and underwriting with sort of a networking back to it, right? So I've got a lot of case studies we're going to be doing. We're going to be getting in and talking about lease options, seller financing. We're going to talk about the math, how to underwrite all those deals. And then I'm going to do a breakout session at the end. I'm going to brand new. I'm going to try. And it's going to be where we do role-playing networking, all right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have everybody in the room. We should have about 50 people or so. I'm going to break them up into groups of like 5 or 6. And I'm going to give everybody a card that's going to represent your role. You may be the principal, the money person, the person that found the deal, the realtor, right? I'm going to give everybody a card. And what we're going to do is each team is going to have to break up the equity of a deal. And we're going to see how that goes, right? So I'm going to say, here's $1 million of equity. Let's pretend you all found a deal and you're the team. Break that equity up. Let me see how you do it. And so we're going to start getting into some role-playing games like that. But everybody's going to have a role in a card. Whatever card they draw is going to be their value to the deal. And we're going to see how everybody argues and negotiates and breaks up that equity. So it should be a lot of fun. But that's going to be May 4th, 5th in Tampa. So again, if you're a part of our group, you'll certainly be getting information on that. Really, really hope to see everybody down there. Thank you all for stopping by. Rodney, thank you. And we will see you all next week. Take care. Hey, thanks for checking out that video. If you'd like more information like this, or you'd like to find out how you can work with me directly, go to realestateraw.com or just click the link below.